We're back with another African folktale, and this week we're in Eritrea. Journey with us to the Horn of Africa, to a country known as the Pearl of the Red Sea, where mountains meet the coast and stories ripple like waves on the shore. It's a land where rich stories have been shared in many languages, including Tigrinya, Tigre, and Saho, and often accompanied by coffee ceremonies, music, and rhythm. Here, storytelling is both an art form and an archive of memory. And this week, we have a well-loved tale. It's entitled The Marriage of the Mouse. Once, long ago, in a quiet corner of the world where the sun warmed the earth and the wind danced through the grasses, a beautiful white mouse was born. His fur was as pale as new-fallen snow, his face noble and fine, and his movements so graceful that all the older mice would often pause just to watch him pass. Now, as he grew into adulthood, his parents beamed with pride, but they also worried. Where will we find a wife worthy of our son, they wondered. Someone as fine as he, with a heart as pure and manners to match. Well, after much discussion, they came to a bold conclusion. Only amongst God's family, they said, can such a bride be found, for who else is greater? And so, following the tradition, the mouse family chose 3 elders to act as matchmakers. Now the 3 set off on their journey, and after many, many days, they finally arrived at the house of God. They stood respectfully at the door, and before long, they heard a gentle voice calling out from within. "Why are you standing outside?" Now, this was a kind of invitation for them to come in, and so they entered. "We come on behalf of the most handsome of all mice," they said. "Surely you have heard of him. His fur is whiter than milk, his nature is noble, and his beauty is unmatched. We seek a wife for him and believe that only your family is great enough to offer a worthy bride." Well, God smiled. "Your mission is admirable," he said, "and this mouse sounds truly remarkable. But I must tell you, you've come to the wrong house." The elders exchanged puzzled looks. "But are you not the greatest?" God nodded kindly. "I am powerful, yes, but the wind, he is stronger than I. For when he blows, even I must close my eyes against the dust. He shakes trees and stirs seas. Oh, you should certainly speak to him." Well, with that, and thanking God, the elders then journeyed on, following the directions that God had given them, until they came at last to the home of the wind. And once again, they stood outside the door and waited, and once again they heard a voice and an invitation from within. "Why are you standing at my door?" the wind asked, swirling gently around them. "We seek a wife for the finest of all mice," they replied. "God himself has sent us here, saying that your family is mightier than his." Well, the wind chuckled, a breeze rippling through the grasses. I do blow down trees and lift roofs from houses, yes, but I must admit, I cannot move the mountain. I howl and rage, but he stands firm. Yes, the mountain is mightier than I." And so, once again, the elders had to continue on their journey. They climbed high up into the hills until at last they stood at the feet of a great, great mountain. "Why do you stand before me?" rumbled the mountain. And once again, the elders entered the house. They bowed low. "We come to speak to you of a young white mouse, one as radiant as the moon. We are searching for a wife who is worthy of him." We've been sent here by the wind, who told us that you, mountain, are the strongest of all creatures." Now the mountain listened carefully. Then he said, "Your mouse must be a fine creature indeed, but I am not the strongest. No. Day and night my foundation is nibbled, my stones loosened, my slopes tunneled. There is one who disturbs even me, the little grey mouse. His family is certainly the most powerful." The elders were stunned. "A mouse?" "Yes," said the mountain with a slow nod. "He digs where no other can. Even I must crumble before his quiet strength." Now, with great curiosity, the elders once again made their way from the home of the mountain and finally towards the home of this other mouse. When they arrived, the little grey mouse greeted them warmly. "Why do you stand at my door?" he asked. Well, now they explained, of course, their long journey, the visits to God, to the wind, to the mountain, and their epic search for a bride for the beautiful white mouse. The little grey mouse's whiskers twitched with delight. "Oh, what wonderful news! A marriage between our two families would be a great honor. Truly, there is no one better for your son than one of our own." And so, the beautiful white mouse married a bride from the house of the little grey mouse, proving that true strength is not always found in size or noise, but often in quiet, determined creatures who shape their world in their own way. And that was the end of the story. And so, after seeking power in the heavens and the winds and the mountains, the elders returned to where they had begun, with the quiet strength of a fellow mouse. The lesson? That true greatness is not always loud or towering. It may, in fact, burrow quietly beneath the surface. And beauty, though admired, is not the most important thing in a partner. It is strength, humility, and harmony that build lasting bonds. The white mouse's family thought that he was superior to his own kind because of his beauty. But this story teaches us that we should never judge by appearances alone. For in the end, the humble grey mouse was deemed to be the greatest match after all. Well, thank you for joining me for this story, The Marriage of the Mouse from Eritrea. In our next tale, we will journey south on the continent to Eswatini, Swaziland. Until then, keep the fire burning.